Hey, what's going on everybody? Big J Gleez here, and we're going to take a look at Jason a little bit more in depth. I know that I posted a combo up on the YouTube page. There was a combo challenge, a little difficult. It's not something that's completely practical in-game. So we're going to go over some things that you're going to be able to utilize in-game and things that I've used online. Now, to give you basically a rundown of Jason as a whole, he's a very slow character, and we're going to be looking at the slasher variation. His moves, his frames of startup on most of his moves are rather high. The rate at which he can attack, his low pokes are very slow. I mean, he's very slow. He's not conducive to what I like to do personally in Mortal Kombat. So he isn't a character that I'm going to use a whole ton of, even though I do love Jason. But we're going to go through and show you some of your options and some of the things that you have. Now, right here, as you jump straight up, the neutral jump punch is very good because it's long extending because of this machete, as we look at the slasher variation. Now, that's great. Now, if you're able to pop your opponent up, you can then continue into combo, and you can get a decent amount of damage there, 31% damage. Now, the basis for Jason's attack is right up on the screen. It's the XX, all right? So this is right here, safe. On block, it's -3, and you can add the last hit for a shoulder ram. And what's good about these on contact, it leaves your opponent in stun. See how he's in stun? So I can choose to do an attack, whatever I would like to do. Alright, on either one of those, if any of those hit, it leaves them in stun. So I can do a little mix-up there. So let's say I land, I can run in and throw. Alright, so that would be one option that I could have there. Now, once I can go low overhead, and now we have a vicious combo. All right, just like that. So 36%. Now they can block in that stun situation, but it leaves them in a situation where they have to eat the hit. So another thing that I can do here on stun, I can go overhead. Now, if I continually hit with this overhead, I like to swing this out there a lot. And the reason why I like it is because it takes a little bit of time to start up, but it can stop people from jumping in. As you see, the hitbox on it is very high. So if I'm in about this distance and someone wants to try to jump or like crossover jump, I'll just hit them with this. And it's an overhead. And because it's an overhead, it's going to force people to stand up. And when it forces people to stand up, particularly when I am using this or the other string, which I can end with Y, which is an overhead as well, it's going to force people to stand up. They're going to want to block standing. And that's what's going to allow me to do the low overhead combination here. Alright, and get that combo in. So I basically set people up with this overhead, which is forward Y or forward 2, with this, and ending the string in the overhead, which is XXY or 112. And it'll get people to stand up. Now, you have a couple options off that string, which is good. It keeps your opponent guessing, and it allows you to stay on the offensive. All right, so that long combo that I was doing, it's just forward YB 3 times in a row, XX, and then right into bloodshed. So, I'm sorry, BY. And that's it. You can also land the X-ray to this. Or I'm sorry, the enhanced, and you'll notice right there that it is 40% damage, so it does boost the damage up a little bit. Is it worth using a bar for that? If you have a surplus of bars, sure, why not? Alright, so the next string that we're going to use here is the machete launch, and this is another string that I like because it is safe on block, and we're going to follow that up with a neutral jump punch. So look, just like that. That's how it will start off. So again, it's right here, the launch, and then neutral jump punch. And we're off to the races after that. So after that, we're going to do the brooding, which is forward 4-2, then XX or 1-1, and then back forward Y for the Psycho Slash. And this is what it looks like. All right, right there, 29%. So that is another combo that I enjoy using. Now, as far as zoning for this version, now you can use the machete throw. Once it lands, it does create a pretty large stun. So if you do hit, Like, let's say I do hit my first one, I automatically always throw a second. I'll throw them continuously until they're blocked. Another good thing about this is that you notice it hits mid. See how it says mid? So you can't duck this. So a lot of projectiles that characters have, you can just duck under them and continue to move forward. This one you can't. So you can't duck underneath of these, which is very good for Jason. Another tactic that I like to use, particularly if I have a decent health lead and have 2 bars down at the bottom, I will use the invincible or whatever this is, where he's basically got full armor. And I'll just go in and just try to massacre someone and take them out. But know that if you get caught in this and the character that you're playing against isn't at like full screen or isn't on the ground, it leaves you susceptible. As you see, he kind of like goes to sleep afterward. So you have to be careful with that. It's not something you can abuse. I have noticed that against Grandmaster Sub-Zero, it works really well because these guys kept trying to zone me using Grandmaster Sub-Zero, and I would just run right through all their projectiles and their ice clones, and you know, Jason wasn't having it. He was like, nah, son, I ain't having that. So he would just run through all those ice clones, and it worked out really well. Also, before we sign out, I want to go over another overhead option, which is the forward A, which knocks the opponent about 3/4 screen or forward 3. It's a decent option. It travels, so you can inflict this damage from decently far away. So right from here, I can overhead from out here. Let me see how far I can get away. This is what you should be doing too with moves. I want to see how far away I can land this. I can't land it there. Right here, I should be able to. Yes. So you want to try to see characters' ranges and, you know, what they can do as far as hitting the person that you're playing against. Now, how far does this launch from? This is another launcher here. It's not all that great because you have a difficult time running underneath of it, as Jason's pretty slow. But you can do it. It's just a pain. The run cancel on it is, it's not amazing. So I don't even really use that, to be honest with you. But that's it. So if you found this informative, I would appreciate it if you click that subscribe button. Thanks for checking in. It's Big J Gleez signing out, and continue to game strong. Look at him dance. Look at that guy.